She mocked me in front of everyone. My ex is coming to my birthday party. If you're uncomfortable, just pay for the party and leave. I just replied, fine. I turned and walked away. Later that night, one of her best friends called asking to meet me. My ex is coming to my birthday party, Laura said loud enough for the whole table to hear. Then she laughed. That sharp, showy laugh she always used when she wanted attention. If you're uncomfortable, just pay for the party and leave. Everyone froze. Her friends stared at me, half shocked, half smirking. The waiter awkwardly backed away with the champagne tray. I just smiled, nodded once, and said quietly, fine. Then I stood up, slipped on my jacket, and walked straight out of the rooftop restaurant. Later that night, while I was sitting in my car, watching the city lights blur through the windshield, my phone started buzzing. Unknown number. I answered. Ethan? A woman's voice whispered. It was Emily, Laura's best friend. I'm Ethan, 33, and I work in finance. I'm not flashy, but I've done well for myself. I live in a downtown apartment, drive a decent car, and don't mind spending money on the people I care about, especially the woman I thought I'd marry, Laura, 31. Laura was beautiful, magnetic, and exhausting. The kind of woman who turned every dinner into a photo shoot and every compliment into an audience. She loved being seen, loved the attention that came with being the girlfriend of a successful guy. From the beginning, she made it clear what she wanted in a relationship: comfort, luxury, and status. She never said it outright, but it showed. The way she'd forget her wallet when we went out, or how she'd tag me on social media with captions like, "He spoils me too much." I didn't mind at first. I wanted to make her happy. But over time, the balance shifted. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was her sponsor. Every dinner, every trip, every little indulgence came from me. She never offered to pay. Not once. Still, I convinced myself it was love. That she just had a different love language. Then, a few months ago, something changed. She became distant, glued to her phone, smiling at messages she wouldn't explain. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd roll her eyes and say, "Relax, it's just work." But Laura doesn't work. She freelances, which mostly means posting on Instagram and calling it marketing. One night, as she scrolled through her phone, I caught a name pop up on the screen. Mark, the ex she once cried about for hours, the one who broke her heart and used her for years. I remembered sitting on the floor of my apartment, holding her while she sobbed about him. I remember her saying, "I'll never talk to him again. He disgusts me." Now he was texting her again. When I asked, she said it was nothing serious. He just reached out, she shrugged. He's different now. He's doing really well, successful, mature. She said it like she was trying to convince herself, or me, that it was fine. From that moment, something in me shifted. I didn't trust her. I didn't trust him. And I started to realize just how much I'd been ignoring the obvious. Laura started dropping little jabs in conversation, and about how I wasn't adventurous. Enough how I'd lost the spark. "You're too careful," she'd say. "Mark was spontaneous. He took risks. You just play it safe." Every time she said his name, I felt it like a knife twist. Still, I stayed. I told myself I was overthinking, that every couple had rough patches. And when her birthday started approaching, I decided maybe a grand gesture would remind her how much I cared. She wanted a rooftop party, something classy but fun. I booked the venue, arranged catering, paid the deposit, and ordered the champagne she liked. She spent hours choosing the theme and the outfit, posting countdowns online like she was hosting the Met Gala. When she asked how much the party cost, I told her not to worry. She smiled that satisfied smile, the one that said, "Of course it's covered. That's what you're for." I should have known then that the woman sitting across from me wasn't the same one who used to hold my hand and talk about our future. The look in her eyes had changed. It wasn't love anymore. It was calculation. I didn't know it at the time, but that birthday party wasn't about celebrating another year of her life. It was about showing off her options. And I was about to learn, in the most humiliating way possible, just how far she was willing to go. The night of Laura's birthday arrived like a production. The rooftop restaurant glittered with string lights and gold balloons spelling LAURA. There was a hired photographer, a custom cake, and 50 people, most of them hers. She'd posted the event online days before. Birthday with my favorite people and my amazing man who made it all happen. When I showed up, everything looked perfect. She looked perfect too. Hair curled, dress sparkling under the city lights, every detail curated for attention. She kissed me on the cheek without looking up from her phone. "Everything's covered, right?" she asked casually. "Yeah," I said. "Everything's covered." We took a few pictures together, or more accurately, she posed while I stood next to her, holding her drink. Her friends swarmed her, taking turns for selfies. I barely existed except when she wanted to show off the guy paying the bill. Halfway through dinner, she started acting strange, checking her phone, smiling that little half-smile I'd seen before. She was waiting for someone, then, as the waiter brought out dessert, I heard her say it. "Oh my God, he's here." She stood up, waved across the room, and called out a name that hit me like a slap. "Mark." I looked over, and there he was, tall, smug, the kind of man who walks like the world owes him something. He walked straight toward her, arms open, like they'd been waiting for this reunion for months. They hugged. Too long. Everyone at the table exchanged looks. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Then Laura, still smiling, still holding his hand, turned to me and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "My ex is coming to my birthday party. If you're uncomfortable, just pay for the party and leave." She laughed. Her friends laughed too, though awkwardly, like they weren't sure if it was a joke. I didn't say a word. I just looked at her, at the woman who'd been living off my kindness, mocking me with the man she'd cried over. And I realized something. She wasn't testing me. She was showing off. I set my glass down, smiled politely, and said, "Fine." Then I turned around and walked out. The cold night air hit me, and suddenly everything felt clear. I didn't feel angry, and just empty. Just silence, the kind that comes when a long lie finally ends. I sat in my car, parked a block away, staring at the city lights, trying to process what had just happened. That's when my phone buzzed. "Unknown number. Ethan?" a woman's voice said. It was shaky, nervous. "It's Emily, please don't hang up." Emily, Laura's best friend. The one who helped plan the party. "She shouldn't have said that," Emily whispered. "That wasn't fair to you, but there's something else you need to know." I stayed quiet. She's been seeing Mark for a while. "A few months at least." She told everyone they were just catching up, but I've seen the messages. Tonight was about showing him she still got it, that she can pull a man like you and still have him paying for her. My chest tightened. Emily's voice cracked. I told her it was cruel. She laughed, said, "Relax, Ethan will pay anyway. He always does." That line did it. The humiliation I'd been swallowing all night turned into something sharper. Focus. "Thank you, Emily," I said quietly. That's all I needed to know. I called the restaurant manager and asked them to close the bill under her name instead of mine. "Hey," I said, keeping my voice steady. "This is Ethan Turner. I booked the rooftop event tonight for Laura Hayes." "Yes, sir," the manager said. "Everything's going great. I'm sure it is. But I need to cancel my payment authorization. Immediately. Charge the balance to the host, not me. She'll handle it." A pause. Then a careful, "Understood, sir." I ended the call, sat back, and let the first real smile of the night creep across my face. Back at the rooftop, I could only imagine the moment the waiter would bring out the check, when Laura would try to hand over my card, and it would come back declined. She wanted me to pay for the party and leave, so I did exactly that. 30 minutes later, Emily texted me one sentence. She's screaming. Her card's maxed. Mark just left. I leaned my head against the seat, closed my eyes, and finally laughed. Not out of revenge, but relief. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't owe Laura a damn thing. The next morning, my phone was a war zone. Missed calls, texts, voicemails. All from Laura. "You humiliated me. You ruined my birthday. Call me right now. We need to talk." I didn't. Instead, I made coffee, turned on some music, and sat by the window, reading every message like I was studying a case file. Each one sounded less like heartbreak and more like damage control. By noon, she switched tactics. "Ethan, please." I overreacted. "It was just a joke. I love you. Don't throw us away because of one mistake." A joke. That's what she called publicly humiliating me so she could impress her ex. I deleted the messages. One by one, later that day, Emily texted again, "Can we meet? There's more you should see." We met at a small cafe downtown. She looked tired, like someone who'd spent the whole night watching a train wreck she couldn't stop. "I'm sorry for calling you last night," she started. "I just couldn't watch her do that to you." "It's fine," I said. "You did the right thing." Emily hesitated, then opened her phone. She forgot I was in the group chat she used to plan the party. "Laura, Ethan's paying for everything. Mark's going to die when he sees how well I'm doing. Friend 1. Girl, you're evil. Laura. Please, he owes me after what I put up with. If Ethan gets mad, he'll cool off. He always does." There it was. The entire truth in black and white. Months of manipulation turned into a performance for attention. I scrolled further and found something worse. Pictures of her with Mark, cuddling at bars, sitting in his car. Dates, all time-stamped during weekends she'd claimed to be visiting family. Emily sighed. "She made me cover for her a few times. Said you'd get weird if you knew. I didn't get weird. I got smart. Thanks," I said quietly. "You've done enough." That night I opened my laptop and started organizing. Every receipt, every message, every text where she'd begged for money or bragged about me paying for something. I wasn't trying to destroy her. I just wanted a clean end, one she couldn't twist into a sob story. 2 days later, Laura showed up at my apartment, makeup perfect, like she could still bluff her way through this. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. "Please, Ethan." I let her in. She stood there in the living room, looking around like she owned the place. "I was stupid," she said. "I got carried away. It was just supposed to be fun. You know how I get when I drink." I nodded slowly. "You also got carried away when you met Mark last weekend. And the weekend before that." Her face went pale. "What are you talking about?" I opened my laptop and turned the screen toward her. The photos, the toll receipts, the screenshots. Her smile collapsed. "You were checking up on me." She snapped. "No," I said calmly. I just stopped ignoring the truth. She went silent for a long moment, then tried a different angle, the one that always used to work. "Ethan, we can fix this. We've been through so much." "No," I said. "I've been through a lot. You've been through my money." Her mouth opened, then closed again. For the first time, she didn't have a line prepared. I walked to the door, opened it, and said, "You should go." She glared at me. "You'll regret this. Don't tell me you actually believe Emily's on your side." That stopped me. "Emily?" Laura's laugh was sharp and bitter. "You really think she told you out of guilt? Please. She's had a crush on you for years. It was meant to hurt me, but it didn't, because deep down I realized something. I didn't mind the idea. Emily had been honest, kind, and most importantly, real. Something Laura had never been. Laura must have seen it in my eyes because she sneered. Wow, that didn't take long. Then she walked out. 2 weeks passed before I saw her name again, this time in a text from Emily. "You'll love this. Mark dumped her. She tried moving in with him, but apparently his crypto investments are tanking. She's broke." I almost felt bad. Almost Emily and I started seeing each other more, not dating, just spending time together. She made things easy. One night, as we walked along the river, she looked at me and said, "You know, I always wondered why you stayed with her so long." I shrugged. "I thought love meant fixing things." Emily smiled sadly. "Sometimes love means leaving the broken thing where it belongs." She was right. And for the first time in years, I finally felt like I'd left something broken behind and walked straight into something real. Weeks turned into months. Life moved on faster than I thought. It's been 6 months since that night on the rooftop. 6 months since Laura laughed in my face and told me to pay for the party and leave. I took her advice, just not the way she expected. The fallout was faster than I imagined. Word spread through her circle almost immediately. Everyone had been at that party, and everyone had seen her meltdown when the bill landed in her lap. Her card got declined, and the manager quietly pulled her aside. Mark slipped out halfway through, leaving her humiliated in front of everyone. By the next week, half her friends stopped talking to her. The other half stayed, but only to gossip. Her online image cracked, and even her small brand deals dried up, and she started posting vague quotes about fake people and second chances. I didn't reply to any of her messages after that. I didn't need to. Silence can be its own kind of answer. Emily kept me updated, not out of spite, just honesty. She told me that Laura tried to move in with Mark, but he turned out to be broke. His crypto empire was just a bunch of failed trades and debt. Within a month, Laura was living in a tiny apartment on the edge of town, working part-time at a boutique she used to shop at. It was sad, but fitting. She wanted status without effort, comfort without care, and she ended up with neither. Meanwhile, my life got quieter, better. I started going to the gym again, cooking for myself, sleeping without waiting for someone else's phone to stop buzzing. And then there was Emily. What started as occasional check-ins turned into late-night talks, long walks, and quiet dinners that didn't need to be photographed. She never asked for anything. She didn't need to. Being around her just felt easy. One night after dinner at a small Italian place, she laughed at something I said, a real laugh, the kind that doesn't need attention. For a second, I just watched her, realizing how different this felt. When she caught me staring, she raised an eyebrow. "What?" "Nothing," I said, smiling. "I'm just not used to dinner without a photo shoot." She laughed harder. "God, you really dated a nightmare." "Yeah," I said. "But apparently sometimes bad choices lead you to the right person." That became our thing, turning pain into jokes, scars into stories. We didn't rush into anything. But one night, as we were walking home, she slipped her hand into mine and somehow it felt natural. And I didn't let go. A few weeks ago, Emily helped me host a small barbecue at my place, my first real get-together since the infamous birthday. Same rooftop, same grill, same group of friends, only this time everything felt lighter. Before people arrived, I sent out a message to the old guest list. Subject: new BBQ for real this time. Body: hey everyone. The air's finally clear. Time to celebrate for real this time, hosting another rooftop night. Same spot, different vibe. Hope you can make it. P.S. Mark and Laura are not invited. The replies were instant. Laughing emojis, hell yes, and we've been waiting for this one. That night, the food tasted better. The music felt warmer. And when Emily came up beside me, handing me a plate of food, she whispered, "So, still think you overreacted?" I looked around at the laughter, the friends, the clean slate of my life, and shook my head. "No," I said. "I think I finally reacted the way I should have years ago." She smiled, resting her head on my shoulder as the city lights flickered below us. Laura once said that money could buy happiness. She was right, just not for her. And as the night went on, with laughter echoing across the rooftop, I realized something simple and true. I didn't lose anything that night. I just stopped paying for people who were never worth the bill.